Hello and welcome to the My Travelog application upgrade presentation. I'm Kyler Chacon. I will be joined by my team members, Sarah Saif, Ian Scrim, Connor McCleve, Joe Hepperman, and Maylee Schaefer in the upcoming slides. To get us started, let's look at the project motivation. So this project was presented to us by Priyanka Kati, who is our sponsor. And she originally created this app as she is an avid traveler herself. She felt that there was a void in the mobile app industry in the travel category. So she wanted to create something that allowed users to log their trips, view those logs, and share them with others. So the project description, looking at the app, there is multiple views available to the user. It initially opens up on the live view, which shows the user in whatever location they're in and shows if they've started a travel, like a log, it'll show that current log. And then there is the log view, which shows a list of all the logs that you've taken, and you could click in there. This is an example of it right here. And then after that, there's a footprint view, and in there you can see a whole map full of all the logs you've taken, and you can also implement photos that you've taken and get them mapped out onto the map there. Moving on to the development of requirements. So our customer discovery process, we decided to create two major groups that we would be marketing towards once this application is deployed. So the first being adventurers, and we believe that those individuals will primarily use this app because they travel a lot and they're going to log a lot of trips, so it needs to be robust. And then the second group we manifested was the social media influencers, and we expect these users to prioritize sharing their logs and sharing their trips with others on social media or even with just friends. And then so some changes in requirements we overwent were offering users multiple ways to share information such as trip logs. The original application only allowed you to show a screenshot of the footprint view. And also we had to supply users with an updated user interface, as the original was quite clunky and really not appeasing to most users and kind of difficult to operate. And then lastly, we provided users with the option of enabling passive recording, which allows users to not have to actively hit record on their trip for it to log it, and it'll just passively in the background log whatever trip you're taking, and it'll end after a certain amount of time of inactivity. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Maylee now.
For our development environment and programming language, we chose Swift UI within Xcode. Swift UI allows programmers to keep track of different scenarios depending on actions, much easily due to a programmatic map of these actions. It's also more interactive due to a simulated view that we get that we can code along with. And prior to starting the project, more members had experience with Swift, and it also had an easier learning curve compared to alternatives such as React Native. For code sharing, we used GitHub, where we split each change or feature into a new branch and merged only tested branches into main. Alternative would have been something like Bitbucket, but GitHub's integration with Xcode made it the preferred choice. For project planning, we used Taiga, which was provided by the university, where we took an agile approach and split the project into smaller tasks within 2-week sprints. And for communication, we used a Discord channel where we had spaces for meeting notes, voice channels, contact information, announcements, and so on. Discord made it very easy to communicate and keep up to date with the team, regardless of everyone's schedules.
The design details and justifications of our design decisions. So for our application redesign, our main focus was to take the original app with its original functionality, but to make it more aesthetically pleasing and give it a modern style. We're also going to add some functionality in it, but right now I want to focus on our design decisions. So if you look right here in the top left, you can see our map view, where we decided to take the map view and extend it all the way to the edges of the screen. So it looks more seamless, looks like it belongs more. And we changed the color scheme to match the default iOS 16 color scheme. For the trip log view, we took the old log and we made it more of a stack, a straight navigation stack with the options to click and to move and to navigate to the view of each trip individually. This way it gives it more of an aesthetic feel, but you can still have the same features and the same visual flow. For the preferences page, we really wanted to take the time to make this one look more modern. We added the descriptions. Instead of it being a little eye you can click on, we added it beneath each of the options to select. We enabled it to also match the original color scheme of the app, and that way the whole app works together and fits together seamlessly.
Hello everyone. So this is a demo of our app after we upgraded it with a new design and additional features. So first is the live view. We made a new modern design to the app, and we also extend the map view to the screen edges. Not only that, but we also implement the live location to show our current location. As we see, this is our current location. Also, we implement a recording indicator while recording the trip. So the red light will shows the trip is now in progress and the app is recording the trip. Now I will walk all the way from home to the CVS, and then I will end the trip there, and I will put the title, name, and also the description, and it will show us the path. And the path will have the start point and end point, where I start and where I ended the trip. As you see right now, we reached the destination, which is the CVS. Now we will end the trip and put the title and the description. Now we will click on save, and we'll save the trip. So after we ended the trip, we go to trip log. Trip log gives us the ability to see and fetch trips, the ability to delete trips, the ability to edit trips. So also it gives us the ability when we click on anything, it gives us the trip in more detail, like it gives us more information about the trip. Like for example, if I click right now on from home to CVS, it gives us the title, which is from home to CVS, also the date, and at the same time also give us a description, which is here is the CVS. If I zoom in, I can see the path, where I start and where I ended here in the CVS. Also we added more features like add photos and edit and share. So if I click on add photo, I can choose which photo I want, like CVS, this one. We can edit, share with friends or in social media or with anyone. Next is photo print. In photo print, we added like the button to add photo print. Also, we have like multiple map styles like standard, hybrid, satellite. And the last thing is preference. In a preference, it gives us more ability to make any changes in the app or modify anything we want, like enabling notification, enabling passive recording. Passive recording in the trip apps like refer to like automatic collection for information about the user trip or journey without like requiring any input or action from the user. Active recording is like this could be like involve like the user manually inputting information such as starting point and ending point, and also the stop duration. And the last feature we added is dark mode. So when we click on it, it shows like dark mode. As we see now, it switches to dark mode. So as we see, like live view switches all in dark mode, like footprints and the preference, and we can switch it back to the light mode. Thank you.
Next, let's talk about lessons learned. And there were exactly 3 main lessons that we learned from this project. One that turned out to be incredibly valuable was having a plan heading into this. And by that I mean we had a meeting in the very beginning after we had requirements meeting with our sponsor, and we just came up with a roadmap for the whole project. Sketching it out, we had a big whiteboard in a room, and we just outlined the whole project. And then what we did is we looked at the outline and saw different components and then divided them into executable tasks and then put them in stories. And actually for the whole semester, we have been following this roadmap and those tasks that we created that day. The second thing that we learned from this project was setting guidelines and expectations for Git collaboration. So in the beginning, we said that we would use a separate branch for different tasks, and it kind of worked like all right, I would say. It was still like merging like faulty code to the main branch, which was annoying and frustrating. So the lesson that we learned was that we need to be more clear and more concise and set better guidelines on how we can collaborate more effectively and efficiently through GitHub. Last but not least, we also learned that we should plan ahead, like smaller things, so that no one has to step in last minute. And that includes like tasks for the class, as well as sprint tasks that when they're assigned, you could rely and you would be responsible for completing that task so that no one has to step in minutes before a deadline and complete a task that wasn't on their radar initially. Next, let's talk about the future development plans. And the goal is to have the MVP ready by the summer, as requested by our sponsor. And that would include a trip feature that shows its life path, save that trip and give it details, view those details, add a photo to the footprint, a settings page that works, and we will then give this MVP to our sponsor, who will look at it over the summer, use it over the summer, and then plan on reiterating on her feedback, obviously, and also adding these 4 features. So snapshotting footprints, meaning that you get better share options to share your whole experiences with friends. We'll add modifications to trip details such as photos, etc. We'll add sharing capabilities as well as big improvements to UI UX. Also, once we're near the end of the capstone project, we plan on providing better documentation and cleaning up our code base so that whoever gets our project next knows what they can build on top of, and just have a better understanding of what has been done, and thus avoid confusion and help them move forward more efficiently as well.
Okay, so future development plans. Our goal with the application is to have it ready during the summertime. The app is able to record a trip and it's going to show a live path to it, so that way it's tracking the user's footprint. We'd also like our application to be able to hold pictures and add them to the footprint. That way the user is able to see where they've been. This is basically just going to test out show what food places they've been to and like what other areas of the trip that they've been to. And we will try and get our settings page working as well before the summertime. We're actually already working on that. We've got most of the front end stuff done. And then during the summer, our sponsor will be testing the application at least enough to see what modifications we have made on it, how have we improved the UI/UX, overall the code. This should also be able to record a trip and like show its life path, as our sponsor is going on a cruise. She will be able to test it while she's there and let us know by next semester or even over the summer, and reach out to us, see what other improvements she'd like on it. we have pretty much configured a lot of things in the code. At least it definitely looks a little bit cleaner, but it definitely needs much more work. We will be providing better documentation towards the end of the capstone too. That way it's a lot easier for the next group to do it, whoever works on it after we do.